Welcome to Module 5 of the High Ticket Closing Challenge. In this module, we are going to learn about how you can overcome your competition by using just two things. And in this process, you would increase your price by 2x within 4 weeks. We tend to have a bad eye for competition because it keeps us anxious and concerned. But if we like, competition is good. We just need to change our lens. Competition makes it easy for us to be distinguished. The two things that could easily give you a competitive advantage is a better listening and your pricing. First, let's talk about how you can become a better listener and win over your prospect. Become an active listener. This is the phrase we all have heard while learning about sales. At the same time, we are also asked to take better notes on the sales call. But most of the time, we cannot focus on two things at the same time, which makes it difficult to choose either to listen or either to rush down notes. I have faced this issue myself when I was starting with sales. But as I improved my sales techniques, I understood that it should not be hard to be an active listener while taking the most valuable information from your perspective. So I created a note-taking sheet that lets you focus on listening to what your prospect is saying and just take down only the most relevant information from your prospects. We have already learned all the information to fill this sheet in the previous modules. Let's look at the sheet and see how we can fill this efficiently. So I hope we already know the name of the company and the customer before we begin the call. The next section, the information about the emotional state, the biggest worry they need help with, can be gathered while asking questions in the understanding objection part of the framework. While the pride point and current revenue can be gathered in the understanding current business section. The dream revenue, along with the business and emotional motivation, can be uncovered in understanding the future goals. And lastly, the objections, that are something you come across after you have delivered the offer and they seem hesitant to go ahead and work with you. You can find a couple of them in understanding objection sections as well. This sheet will help you effectively connect with your prospect and collect the most valuable information. Since you are listening to the customer most of the time, they feel valued and treat you as an expert. This will make it easier for them to decide to work with you. So it's super important for you. The second most important thing that can make you stand out in your niche is pricing. It is tough to talk about money. We have all had that moment when we tell our prospect, my service costs $10,000. However, if you decide to work with us today, I have an incentive based price where I knock off $3,000 out of it. In moments like this, you start to think, maybe I can close the sale by offering a discount. You feel like giving them a deal will reduce some of the tension. But not to worry, you do not have to use that ever after watching this video. And I'll tell you why giving discount is working against you. First is perceived value. Business is an exchange of values. One person gives value in the form of product or service, while the other gives values in dollars. As a result, the most important thing you can do as a consultant, as a coach, is to increase the value of your offer. Although it is hard to increase the perceived value of your product or your service while simultaneously dropping the price. You are sending a mixed message here. This is worth a lot of money, but it does not cost very much. Chances are your prospect will think, Well, if the price is dropping, that is obviously what this service is worth. This gives you a huge disadvantage, and you basically repelled the prospect because you wanted to close the prospect. Quite the contrary, I would say. The second reason why pricing is important is attracting the wrong set of clients. Once, I heard a youth pastor talking about how high school church groups get kids to come to their events. Many will have a night a week where they get together to play games and eat pizza. Then at the end, there is a short talk about religion. The pastor said, the problem is, whatever you do to get them in the door, you have to keep doing to keep them in the door. If a kid shows up for fun and free pizza, the second the game stops and the pizza runs out, they are gone. The point is, by using discounts, you are attracting clients that don't want to pay full price. Even if you do a great job, the second you raise your prices, they will start groaning. And when you put your more expensive product in front of them, there is less chance they will say yes to them. In fact, the referral clients coming your way would expect the same concession, making it difficult for you to increase the prices of your services. So you are attracting the wrong set of a customer by just giving discounts. Now, I hope you understand my point about why discounts are a no-no in this competitive world. But before we jump into the alternatives of discount, I want to discuss the delivery of the pricing first. Let's see through a conversation with James how it would go. So James, so how much do you charge for your services? And you can say something like this. Well, to be able to help you reach your goal of 100k a year so that you can spend time with the family, it is only going to cost you $5,000. That too just once, and you can use the scale to grow it beyond that. When we are mentioning our price, then we must first anchor their financial goal and their emotional goal, which will always be higher than your service price. This helps the prospect get into the mindset about their future dreams. And whatever is your cost, it is smaller than their dreams and the feeling to achieve that dream. Once you say your pricing is like this, the prospect would obviously have less objections in starting with you. Although sometimes generally the client does not have all the money to invest. So here's is what you can do. First, get creative with the payment plans. The first reason for a price objection that a client will give is I just can't afford it. In that case, you can get creative with the payment terms. Instead of charging the client monthly, offer to invoice them bi-weekly or whatever is feasible for your business. Second method, find other ways to reduce the risk. A lot of times, when a client is resistant to the price, it is not because they can't afford it. It is because they are not sure if they can get the result that they want. Think about it like this. If your client is 100% sure they were going to get the results they need, and the results obviously are worth more than the cost of your services, they would pay full price, right? They would be crazy not to. They would probably pay more for it because they are sure about it that they can get the outcome. So rather than reassuring them with a discount, it is more effective to give a guarantee. Another way you could reduce the risk is the base payment of a percentage of performance. If you are helping grow your client's business, take a share of their growth. This way, you only get paid when they do. It completely removes the risk for your prospect and you get paid way more than the one time service price. The third method is reduce cost by increasing your value. Have you ever gone on a vacation to a popular tourist destination? Let's say Thailand, for example, and a cute little kid approaches there. You are on the beach and this kid approaches you and tries to sell you a piece of jewelry. They want an astronomical amount of money and it is not worth that much. You know that for sure. But you also feel awful haggling with an underprivileged kid. What I like doing is saying, I'm not going to pay you $20 for this, but I'll give you $30 for two. Everybody wins. The kids get some extra cash, I get a better deal, and I save a ton of time having to argue over the price. You can do the same thing with your service. Rather than dropping your price, pile on the values. Say, I do not have any flexibility on the price, but here is what I can do. I can add this other product or service that normally costs extra for you for free. Or I can give you access to this other thing that will magnify your result while minimizing the time, and that too also free. It could be another offer you have. It could even be as simple as giving your phone number so they have access to you. So you can get creative and try to add more value rather than giving a discount to a prospect. With this, I think we have concluded the day 5 of the high ticket closing challenge. Hope you have learned a lot in this journey. But this journey is still not over. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask me, and most of you might need my help in adapting it to your technology, in your voice. Please feel free to reach out to me at Pallav at the rate highticketclosingchallenge.com, and I'll be happy to answer anything that you have. Thank you and speak to you all soon.